What's up guys, welcome to Monchkinz Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Monchkinz logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. And welcome back to another Should You Pull video, where I give you my opinions for upcoming banners coming to the global version of the game. In today's video, we are going to take a look at the Divine Diabolos banner, which includes a RAMZA's LD and Burst, and a returning LD for MACHINA on the other banner as well. Now before we do start, like and subscribe if you haven't already, because it does help the channel guys, and I would really appreciate it if you do. And without further ado, let's start this video. Okay guys, so with the introduction of the Divine summons, basically we are going to be getting the LD board now, which basically is an upgraded version of your LD ability. So you get an extension for it. Think of it as like your level 55 and level 60 crystal passives, so it kind of acts like that, but this is on your character board. So with Machina's LD board, basically when you're using your stunning slash now, he will inflict the Spiral's linchpin before the attack. So if you guys don't remember, Spiral linchpin is the debuff that Machina needs to do a follow-up attack. And this is incredibly useful. So now that you do his LD, he will do a follow-up attack straight away. He won't just do his LD attack and then, you know, just leave it at that and wait for the next turn before he does any follow-up attack. So this is incredibly very useful. Now it will change his LD ability to a 3-hit AoE melee brave plus AoE HP attack, which is followed up by a 5-hit AoE melee brave plus AoE HP attack. This will obviously get an increase in brave potency, and his follow-up attack will increase his own brave now by 70% of his attack before attacking as well. Now Machina will also be getting his call ability with this one, since he will be getting his level 80 upgrade. So Cyclone Drive call ability will raise his own max brave by 20% and will do a 6-hit melee brave plus HP attack with a 180% max brave overflow. This also increases the potency when hitting a broken target or breaking a target. This also increases the caller's brave by 30% of the HP damage dealt, and you do get a 6 turn of increased crit brave damage, which is going to be a special effect. And also with the introduction of the LD boards, we now get the second call ability, which basically lets them use their LD ability when you call them. So for Machina, this is Stunning Slash. He will raise his own max brave again by 20% and will basically do his LD ability plus the follow-up attack. Now, the biggest thing here is, you know, the Spiral linchpin isn't going to trigger any follow-up attack from your actual character, so this will only actually take effect for Machina when you call him. So don't get your hopes up when, you know, you have that Spiral linchpin debuff basically on the enemy, and yeah, you're not going to be doing any follow-up attack with that one. That's specifically for Machina himself. So he will also increase his own and the caller's brave by 30% of the HP damage dealt, and will inflict all the targets with the Spiral linchpin for 4 turns. The caller special effect for this one is 6 turns of 40% attack up. Alright guys, so what do I think of Machina after this addition of his LD board? And of course his call abilities is in there as well. You know what? I think Machina gets a bad rap. I mean, I kind of said in my previous video that, you know, he is skippable, and with this addition of his LD board, actually it just makes him more potent, right? Being able to immediately use his follow-up attack is definitely a slight rework, kind of, is what they did here with his LD. It's a nice addition. He's a solid character. By no means he is like a trash character. I seriously thought, like before, even though I said probably he's a character that you can skip, he was a solid character nonetheless. And you know, with his counter as well, it's a nice little addition. I wouldn't say, you know, it completely reworked the character, but just with that, his potential has just gotten better. And as for RAMZA, he gets a slight rework for his shout. This will now inflict a break straight away, which is incredibly powerful, which is followed up by a 3-hit melee brave plus HP attack. This will also have a 150% max brave overflow. The galvanize change basically will just add a HP recover by 20% of the individual's max HP, which is a nice little addition, which I kind of wondered when RAMZA was going to get this. So getting a HP recovery is a nice addition for his support abilities. And as for RAMZA's call ability, he has Galvanize, which increases the party's Brave by 40% of his attack. The max Brave gain can go up to 120% of his max Brave, and will recover the party's HP by 10% of their max HP. This will also grant the party 4 turns of attack up and Brave Regen buff. Now, as for RAMZA's LD ability call, it is pretty much identical to his LD ability, which we will be covering next anyway. So I didn't want to write everything or type everything all over again. So we'll just cover the LD ability, I think. And it's just basically minus a few things, which, well, actually just one thing in my eyes. It's just going to be the special effect, Sunset Leaf Flute. You won't be getting that obviously on your character, and obviously the shout and pep, that's only for RAMZA himself. With that in mind, let's just go over RAMZA's LD ability with all the passives included, including the LD board extension. So Iaido Winterstorm will have a total of 3 uses. This will raise his own attack and initial brave by a total of 60%. So that is when you limit break his LD weapon, you will be getting this passive. So this will do a 4-hit AoE melee brave plus AoE HP attack that is delivered twice. This will increase the brave damage when attacking a single target, will have a 150% max brave overflow, and will do a split HP damage. However, this will delay all the targets by 1 turn, and increasing his own brave by 20% after the first HP attack, and will increase the party's brave by 20% of the total HP damage dealt. So this will also initiate a chase sequence and will grant him 1 level of shout and pep for 8 turns, and will grant him the special effect Sunset Leaf Flute for 16 turns. Now, Sunset Leaf Flute basically will raise the party's initial brave by 40%, and it will increase the party's brave overflow by 30%. And the party will get a brave regen. So this is going to be 40% of their initial brave. And as for RAMZA's burst, he will have the Ultima Burst ability, which is going to be a 15-hit AoE melee brave plus AoE HP attack. This will increase the brave damage when they're attacking a single target. This will deal 100% HP damage to all enemies with a max brave damage of 14,998 and max brave and HP damage to 179,998 damage. The burst effect will last for 5 turns, and obviously it's going to be party wide. The effect of his burst effect is going to be based on the party's total active buffs. So he will raise their initial brave, max brave, and attack by 5% per buff, and will raise the max brave damage by 2% per buff. However, this obviously will not stack with the same burst effect. Alright guys, so after hearing all this information regarding RAMZA's rework and his LD and his burst, what do I think of RAMZA overall as a character? Now, RAMZA, he was a solid support when he first came out, obviously, and he actually got a rework, which made him very turn efficient thanks to his no turn for his HP attack plus. That was his initial problem, that he wasn't turn efficient, so they fixed that. Now this small rework just improves that efficiency with his shout, and the addition of a heal to the party for his skill 2 is a welcome change as well. His LD brings more efficiency as it gives you 1 level of shout and pep at the same time, bringing the in efficiency down a little bit more. So you're going to get to his max potential much quicker than before, because you have to like do 2 turns with shout, 2 turns with galvanize before you know, can do all the things that you really want to do. With his LD, it just makes it so you can get there much quicker. Plus the addition of being able to delay and initiate a chase with his LD is very powerful. Not only that, remember, he does brave battery the entire party as well when he does his launch. So as for his burst though, it is pretty solid. I don't think it's completely necessary that you will need to pull for the burst. I think the LD is nice enough. However, if you do manage to pull it, then you know, it is going to be a great addition for your RAMZA. Overall, I think RAMZA had a great small rework with this one, and his LD is just phenomenal. Alright guys, so we're finally at the end of this video. One final question remains is, should you pull? Honestly speaking, I would pull on this particular banner. The only thing that will hold me back is waiting who the global first LD again. So I guess we can wait for that. At the time of the recording of this video, the community live stream hasn't gone up yet, so I can't completely say that, you know, you should pull on this, but just by looking at his entire kit for RAMZA, I think is well worth pulling for his LD. Now, as for Machina, that's really going to depend on you. I think if you already like Machina, you already pulled on him, and the only thing that you will have to do is just the LD boards. But if you did like Machina and you skipped him previously, in order to grab it here, if you get lucky, like say you got RAMZA's LD on his LD/burst banner, you can go to the Machina LD/RAMZA burst banner. So I guess you can work around that. Unfortunately for me, I actually kind of pitied Dark Knight Cecil's LD. So I'm really short on resources, and yeah, I would probably wait for the global first LD announcement, which is coming soon at the time of this recording. I think it's like 2 days, something like that. But if you really like that one, and if their banners kind of overlap, you can still pull on that and come back to this one if you don't have much resources. But I'm letting you guys know, Divine Diabolos event is basically going to give us a ton of rewards as well, lots of tickets and gems as well. So if you're pretty strapped on those, doing the entirety of the Divine Diabolos grind is going to give you some resources, so you don't have to worry too much if you're short a little bit. But if you're short by a lot like me, you're probably hoping to lock sack on some of these characters. Hopefully we do get free multis as well, seeing as it is the anniversary for Dissidia Opera Omnia. So that's one thing we can get our fingers crossed and, you know, get lucky for those people like myself who actually don't have much resources. But anyway guys, I think that is basically it for this video. Please do remember to click like and subscribe if you haven't already. It does help the channel and I would really appreciate it if you do. You can always follow me on Facebook and on Twitter at Monchkinz Gaming. Leave down in the comment below if you're planning to pull on this banner, regardless who the global LD is going to be. Let me know down in the comments below. This is Monchkinz logging off. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next level.